I'm gonna go ahead to do something light, just to break up the energy a little bit, and then we're gonna come back and share our quiz results. We all four of us took like a quiz to see where we really lie on the spectrum on the political spectrum. So I want to share our quiz results, and then all four of us are going to share who we plan on voting for this time around. But first, let's jump into something like, all right, so this is more of a, it's not really a game, but it's more of like an imaginary scenario. All right, this is actually something that Michelle and I like to do, like when we just like brainstorming like crazy stuff and just late night pillow talk. But like if you could create your own utopia society, like what kind of things would it look like? And this was inspired actually from that and from my daughter. She had a project for school recently where they had to create their own country because they're learning about government right now in 5th grade, and they're learning about how the different parts of government, the checks and balances. So she had to create her own. So what I want to ask you guys is, if you were the ruler of your own country or this country, right? And you can pick three, let me say, minus the logo, three staple things that your country would be founded on, or that would be like unique. Three specific things would be very unique about your country, that's different than most places, right? And it could be something that already exists, but you basically have, like, these are the three foundational things we're going to build on. What would they be? I'm gonna give you an example. For my daughter's country that she made, she reformed the banking system. So her banking system was a government run system. There were no privately run banks. It was a government run system with the purpose of education. So their banking system ran on debit only. I didn't even know she knew the difference between debit and credit, but her banking system ran on debit only. Her country does not allow people to go into debt via credit, and the banks are responsible for educating the citizens on healthy saving and investing techniques. But that's all it is. It holds your money and it educates you. Um, so, like, what would your three things be? I can go first because I've kind of thought about this already. But if somebody else is ready to go, what would your
Nah,
three
go
things be?
first, man. Go first.
All right. So my three, one is going to be something I'm passionate about that maybe I'll be able to do in reality one day. But it's going to be a federal run universal education system. So my country will have a unified federal education system that is not based off of property taxes. So everyone's federal will pay federal taxes into the education system, which will be run by the government. And with that, school choice. So like you don't have to use the federal schooling system. You can educate your own children or go to whatever private institution you want to, but everyone will have the access to the same unified education across, no matter where you live in the United States or my country. That would be one. Two would be this is getting to the regulation taxes that we talked about. Two would be that minimum wage per family that you talked about, Yusha. So like every family would just be, so taxes would probably be higher, but every family would get a minimum living expense to minimize poverty and hunger and homelessness and all of that. So you still, it ain't gonna be enough to thrive. Like you still gonna have to go to work or whatever, but there's gonna be a minimum things that are coming in that's going to help everybody. It was actually a presidential candidate running on this, I think, the last term. His name is Chang or something like that. He was running on this platform. He actually was paying people like $1,000 stipend a month. So I would do something like that. And the last and final thing would be guns. Guns would be illegal in my country. No guns. Nobody has guns.
You talking about, so this is not if you were to, you saying your own country, right? You're not saying United States.
Oh, it could be United States if you want to refer.
Nah,
but
that's
your own. Let's say
it can't be if you talk.
You're right. Let's say your own country. Your own country.
Okay.
No, the citizens would not have guns anyway. Maybe some higher level military police, but
could you imagine what that looked like if it was made, guns were made illegal, and there was a process at which people went by to retrieve all of the guns in the United States? That would be crazy.
It would take 50 years.
That would be crazy.
I mean, I ain't seen
your own country.
Can you imagine all the African countries back in the day without, what I'm saying, before guns was created, without spears?
What?
Can you imagine Samson without a jawbone, bro?
But that's what I got on my my. I thought
Can you
said
imagine
world.
David without the sword, bro?
I thought you said world, because in my world, everybody would have to fight with their hands. No weapon, nothing.
gloves on.
Imagine David without the
Are
slingshot.
you going next, Ali? Are you going next?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, for sure. All right. So for me, man, it would be food would be in abundance. There would be no currency, and our defense system would be like Wakanda.
No
Break that down.
currency?
The fifth
Yeah,
system.
when you say no currency, what is in replacement of that?
We'll figure
Trade.
it out.
Trade.
Look, before there was no currency, there was trade and barter.
Let's talk about how we got money in the first place, right? This is how you get money. You got something, I ain't got nothing. So I give you a piece of paper that says I owe you on it. Slavery.
Bingo.
It was money. Money is material slavery.
No money.
You ain't, I got something. Because if you think about it, when we rich, if you got something, I got something, man, listen, I'm not rich and I got people that I trade with. You know what I'm saying? Because I got something, they got something. It's like, why we talking money, bro? I'll do this for you. You do this for me.
Yeah.
Or
I like
I
it.
give you a check.
Sound of it.
I give you a check, but then you turn around and hire me and give me a check. And so we exchange money, but we ain't exchange money.
Might as well not.
Money is needed for those who ain't got nothing to trade.
Okay.
Thank you, Yusha.
You want to go next, Yusha?
I mean, mine gonna be simple, bro. You know what I'm saying? Universal healthcare is gonna be in my country. Universal education, with equal representation from all groups, all communities, to help decide what that education should look like, or an opt-out option. And that opt-out option would not just be you opting out of the schools. It would be you having the option to take the tax dollars that you put into education and put that towards a educational institution. And it would have to be an educational institution registered with the government, but the government wouldn't regulate what they teach. Because every community of people don't need the same education. Black people don't need the same curriculum as white folks. That's
Certain
what
areas. Yeah.
in certain areas, right? Our community needs something else holistically. So it'd be universal healthcare, universal educational system with an opt-out, and an opt-out of the tax format. And then, I think because of the idea of welfare and tithing and zakat from the Muslim perspective, right, there would always be some social good, right, connected to people being able to have a quality of life. So I go back to the stipend. You get a living stipend.
Free money for everybody.
Not free money. But, if there was no money in Ali's world, right, we was in Ali's country and there was no money, then that would be, every week we would drive by with food. Everybody get a basket of food. You get a basket of rice, beans, barley.
Take what you need. All right. What you got, Sean?
Yeah, for me, I would say housing and rehabilitation. That would be number one. And so under that would be an emphasis on our veterans as well as the homeless in general. The rehabilitation part is anything that falls under that bucket of rehabilitation, whether you have PTSD, whether you have a drug addiction, which there are templates out there of how other countries do it, that I agree with. So I would say housing and rehabilitation. The second would be education. And so like from a historical standpoint, the deconstruction of the historical educational system within the United States. I definitely think that it's obsolete at this point. And then the third, I would say national industries and regulation, right? I do think that there is importance on a more stringent regulatory system for our businesses. However, I think that we need to bring a lot more of our industries back into the nation, and there could be like stipends and potential incentives on beautifying and rehabbing a lot of the, well, man, if you go throughout the Nate, bro, just in the DMV area where I live, it's like a habitable house and then a dilapidated house or even a commercial business, like dilapidated commercial businesses. I don't understand why. So I'll leave it at that.
That's real.
Sean brought up something we ain't really talked about. You talked about the when you talked about housing and rehabilitation. I feel like you was getting to the penal system. Neither one of us brought that shit up, but you know that shit crazy in America.
Yeah.
Hey, I like y'all countries, man. I might visit. I don't know if I might live in a couple. I don't know about yours, Ali. I'm scared of the no money, but I might visit.
You ain't gonna want to live in mine because mine is gonna be all pro guns.
You can't come to mine because I know you're not gonna
pro ammunition.
Hey, I think we all, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell them right now. I got a song where I said it during 2020. I went and bought the shotty with the pump. At the end of the day, I feel like black folks. Ali said this early. He was like, what you talking about? Somebody, the 40s or 30s. You talking about old school something? And I thought about it. I was like, man, oh, you said you wish you could have lived in civil rights times. And I was like, bro, I always feel like I'm in the wrong period. I feel like I was supposed to be in the 1920s and the 1930s. But because of how history repeats itself, I often feel like we're living in the 1920s and 1930s, 100 years forward, right? And so, you know, if you think about the 1920s and 1930s, black people was winning for real. Durham, Tulsa, Harlem, DC. And the only thing we did wrong was we ain't have an independent army.
But that's why I was so happy when Kamala was like, you tripping. Me and mine's packing at home. I don't know if y'all saw her. She was like, this ain't a conversation about like
I
taking
agree.
away your guns. Like when she said that, I was like, I hope they know. Nah, I didn't say they. I hope people know that like black people packing, bro. Like, and that's a misnomer that we ain't.
I have to be because I live in Georgia where everyone has a gun outside. So it's like I don't have a choice.
I got homies in DC. They be like, I tell them, yeah, I gotta check my gun in at the airport. They like, gun? You can fly with a gun? I was like, if long as it's a state you got reciprocity in, bro, of course. I'm not going to Atlanta without the strap. Bro, you're wilding.
You be at Pizza Hut. It's just holding. I'm like, all right. So, all right. No, that was good though. I should make y'all come up with a name for y'all country, but we gotta move forward because that'll be funny. But
I already got mine.
I'm gonna call mine Type.
I'm gonna go ahead and side with Saha. I'm gonna go ahead and side with Saha the Prince, man. New Africa.
Oh man.
All right. You can tell I've been hanging around the kids too much at work, Sean.